Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs, and as you can tell, we're basically in the same spot I was when I left off of my last immigration video. I'm just going to keep rolling. I'm going to keep scrubbing on this gun. This gun will be spotless. It'll be a hell of a lot cleaner when I'm done with it than it was when I bought it. So, yeah, I think I've got some solutions, and I think we can solve this whole illegal immigration fiasco situation. For sure. But first I want to talk about what's not being done. And this crosses party lines. You know, this is one of those things that Bush, when he was president, GW, when he was president, he wasn't really doing a whole lot to prevent illegal aliens from coming over here either. You know, Obama, he damn sure is. And you know the sad thing about it is the reason. The reason that they're not doing anything about illegal immigration, it's not because we need their labor. The reason they're not doing anything about illegal immigration is because they want their vote. And you know, I know what you're saying. Well, they're not citizens. Of course, they're not voting. Bullshit. If you don't think for a second that those people are voting, if you don't think for a second that they're voting, you're crazy. You are crazy if you don't think they're voting. They are voting, and they're voting in droves. And you know what? And they've done nothing to stop that. So both parties, instead of doing the right thing, which would be to stop them from voting, or hell, stop them from even coming over here, instead of doing that, they end up pandering to them. You know, and to be honest with you, McCain would not have been any better. In fact, it would have been just as bad. It's going to be up to the American people to say enough is enough. It's going to be up to the American people to say enough is enough. Because both parties have shown that they are incapable of getting tough with the Hispanic, well, bottom line, they're pandering to the Hispanics that are here legally and the Hispanics that are here illegally. And I'm thoroughly convinced that Acorn played a big part in helping facilitate these people illegally voting. You know, it's funny, you know, they've never been real big on showing their papers, especially at the polls. You know, some places we're starting to require people to have photo ID, but typically any idiot can go in there and vote for President of the United States. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway, solutions. First and foremost has to be the American people saying enough's enough. That has to be part of the solution. Okay. Secondly, we obviously have to let our elected officials know that we need comprehensive, and listen, when I say we need immigration reform, I am not parroting what Obama's saying, or President Hussein. I am not parroting what he's trying to say. Okay, granted, he's backed off of that because he sees he senses the political winds. But what I'm talking about, when I talk about reform, is a serious crackdown on illegal immigration. And let me tell you exactly what President Hussein has in mind. Okay, he plans on giving amnesty to every illegal alien that's here, and the best estimates are anywhere between 10 and 20 million people illegally in the United States. Now you'll hear a lot of numbers being thrown around, but regardless of what number it is, it's ginormous. Bottom line, we have let this problem get to the point where it is a huge... We've been invaded. We have been invaded. Now let me segue that statement there into why I think it might be necessary to invade Mexico. Okay. Now bear with me on this, because I think I can make this plan work. And I'm not trying to be a big war pig or neocon or whatever people like to throw around on YouTube. Okay, on the internets. The interwebs. What I'm trying to say is this. We've been invaded, and they are doing us economic harm. Bottom line. They are being facilitated by the Mexican government. Okay? They did not cross the border with well, some of them did, but for the most part, they didn't cross the border with weapons. Okay, but they're doing harm to this country nonetheless. The Mexican government is facilitating this. I mean, listen, Mexico, for all intents and purposes, is exporting its poverty to the United States. Okay? which is a real win-win for them, because not only do they get to export their poverty, which is a huge help to them, but they also know that the Mexicans that come over to the United States illegally to work send an enormous amount of their money home to Mexico. So there's this giant influx of U.S. greenbacks coming to Mexico. So the government is culpable as far as I'm concerned. Now, you will hear Mexicans say, well, you know, we didn't cross the border crossed us. That is another crock of shit lie that they like to spew, and here's why. Okay? If Arizona, New Mexico, California was all still part of Mexico, they'd be doing their damnedest to get into Colorado and the rest of the states. I mean, there are illegal aliens by the droves in Toledo, Ohio. No, I've never seen a map that ever showed Toledo, Ohio being part of Mexico. So that in itself is just is bullshit. Absolute freaking bullshit. All right, their excuse there. Now, invading Mexico, well, there's several different ways we could do this. One, and this may actually run over the 10, if this runs over the 10 minutes, I'm going to put this on the Mad Bad Voodoo channel and just let everybody know this is a political, and this is a hot button political. Okay, think about this for a second. If we were to tell the Mexicans in Mexico, okay, well, and even the ones in this country, that we would be willing. Now, listen, do not get what I'm about to say confused with the North American Union, okay, because that is not what I'm talking about. But if we were to tell the Mexicans, look, and I don't know how many Mexican states there are, but I'm assuming there's got to be at least, I don't know, 5 or 6. Maybe there's more, maybe there's less, I don't know. But let's just, for shits and grins, let's say there are 5. If we told the Mexican people, look, we're going to have 55 states in the United States. Mexico itself, the name Mexico will no longer exist. Whatever those Mexican states are called, they will be added just like Arizona, Hawaii, whatever. Okay? And in return, what the Mexican people are going to get is they're going to get all the laws the United States has to offer as far as fair labor practices, minimum wages, all that stuff. And here's the thing about Mexico that you have to understand. I've been there a few times. The government in Mexico is way corrupt on every level, from the lowest level all the way up to the very top. They're way corrupt. Okay, that's just a fact. There is no middle class in Mexico. Now, some people are saying that that's where the United States is heading, and I believe, to be honest with you, that's true. Okay, but for now we do have somewhat of a middle class. But there's no middle class in Mexico. In Mexico, you are either very poor or very wealthy. There's no in between. It's not uncommon to see, and you know, anybody that's ever been to a touristy spot in Mexico knows this. It's not uncommon to see little kids. I'm talking 4 or 5-year-old kids peddling bottles of beer and whatnot on the beach. That will stop, and you know, let the Mexican people know that, listen, that those days are over. Okay, but you will have a piece of the American dream. Okay, now hopefully we can do this thing peacefully. Honestly, hopefully we can do this thing peacefully, but maybe we won't. Now, what's in it for the United States as it is? What's in it for us now? Us that are citizens now. What's in it for us? Well, if you look at Mexico as a whole, okay, that country has a lot of resources. If it wasn't for the fact that the government is so corrupt and the few wealthy families actually run the show, they would be a major contributor. Each state would be a major contributor to the United States. Bottom line, they have oil, they have agriculture. You know, I mean, listen, then they have a lot of oil, and once again, if that situation wasn't so corrupt, it may actually work out a whole lot better. So, yeah, I mean, there are some serious arguments to be made for invading Mexico. Now, I was talking about this with a friend of mine, my Canadian buddy Tom Searson, and of course his knee-jerk reaction, like I'm sure the rest of the world, would be, "Oh my God!" But you know what? Fuck him. Not fuck Tom. I mean, you know, Tom's a cool dude. I explained it to him. I think he might have understood. If you're being invaded, you have the right to defend yourself. And I think the only thing we can do is either, one, invade back. Now, we could probably do this bloodless. You know, we let the Mexican people know, look, we're going to come in, but everything's going to be better in the end. We don't want anybody to get killed, but we're going to come in. The government's going to go. The ruling families are going to go. The crime is going to go. The drug cartels is going to go. You know, we're going to come and make it better. I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts. I'm sure there's more than a few of you that are thinking that right now. But I mean, the alternative is to continue to let them invade us, to continue to let them chip away at. And by the way, this probably, undoubtedly, will end up on my Mad Bad Voodoo channel. So those of you watching this on my Mad Bad Voodoo channel that have not seen the first 2 episodes of this immigration issue, you need to go over to my Voodoo Politics 1 channel to catch those. You know, otherwise, I don't know that a whole lot of this is going to make sense. I don't know. I might not post this at all because I'm going to have people going, "This guy's a warmonger." But you know, I don't know what I mean. You know, I think there's a legitimate argument to be made that that's what we should do. You know, because right now what we've got is a corrupt Mexican government subsidizing the exportation of its poverty to the United States, which is damaging to us. We've got drug cartels. And listen, and from what I've heard, the Mexican military has actually made raids into the United States on behalf of drug cartels. And now, if you've ever been to Mexico, you wouldn't be surprised about that. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I have heard that. You know, so I don't know. I mean, we've got to do something. And listen, give an amnesty to 10 or 20 million people in the United States, 1, is stupid. And 2, it's just going to encourage the rest of them to come over here. You know, so what, in the end, the only people that are going to be left in Mexico are, you know, a few dozen wealthy families and the president. El Presidente. Every other Mexican's going to have migrated north. I mean, how insane is that? So, I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. You know, let me know if you think I'm crazy. If you think I'm crazy, tell me. I won't get butthurt about it. Just say, look, you're a crazy bastard. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Invade Mexico. You know, good question. You know, I talk about the oil because I can hear, oh, the oil. Listen, one of the things we did wrong in Iraq was not take the oil. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Everybody accused us of being over there to steal the oil. And you know the funny thing about that, it's not even funny, actually it makes me ill, is that one of the biggest oil contracts that have been awarded by the new Iraqi government was awarded to a French company. A freaking frog company, people. You know, I don't even want to talk about that because it's just going to piss me off. But, yeah, we should have taken the oil. That's exactly what we should have done. But that's not what we were doing. So, anyway, listen, everybody, chime in, let me know, give me hell, whatever. If you think I'm spot on, maybe you think I got a plan. Somebody's going to have a plan, and the plan, like I said, cannot be amnesty, because amnesty is not a freaking plan. So, anyway, everybody take care.